Alright, what's up, guys? I want to drop another video today, and I wanted to talk about, just try to keep it as brief as I can. I want to talk about what was my true red pill moment when it comes to female nature and like what I know today. And the reason I'm making this video is because most guys are shamed into believing what I'm, believing the truths about female nature. They're shamed immediately. It's, and the first thing we all hear, guys, we all know, it's who hurt you. And I want to bash that shit right now. Like, who the fuck hurt me is not what red pilled me. No. So I want to squash that stereotype and that narrative immediately, because that is a way of diminishing what my experiences are. It's a way of diminishing what your experiences are. And it's also a way to try to bash and beat you right back into foolishness, if you will. Because only a fool doesn't learn the lessons from his experiences. And women have to accept accountability. Well, you know what? Truthfully, they don't have to. I've already factored that into the equation when it comes to my outlook in the future, at least my personal beliefs, as far as what's coming. I've already written them off, in a lot of ways. And you can thank the other ladies for this, What red pilled me and revealed the truth to me as a man about what is going on with modern women and true, real female nature and how dark it can be was not who hurt me. It was not because of a woman who, I went through a divorce. I was married 13 years. That was what got my attention. That divorce got my attention. Did that red pill me? No. When I separated from my ex-wife, I went into exile for a few months, I was still a blue pill simp, crying. It was a bad time in my life. What truly red pilled me was being on the other side. It wasn't about what the women did to me. It was being on the other side and seeing what the women were doing to the men who were blue pilled still. Being on the other side and seeing what women were doing to other men. That's what red pilled me. So for all the women who say, who hurt me, like as if that's what gave me this mentality and this philosophy, get the fuck out of here. That had nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, I would thank God for the one who at least got my attention. You know what I mean? I've made my peace with it. This is not out of anger. The videos I make and the topics I talk about are not done because I'm angry. I won't deny that at some point or at one point in the past when I was starting to learn all this stuff, that it didn't really make me angry for a while. Yeah, it's a harsh fucking truth to come to this. But learning and watching and being on the other side of what I saw women doing to guys that were naive, which most guys are. Good guys, nice guys that did everything for these women. And to see what they were capable of doing, this is what truly opened my fucking eyes. I'm talking about, I've been out and had women that were with their man come and grab me to the side the second her man stepped away and went to the bathroom. I'm talking like give me your phone, text, and she texted, this woman initiated this. I didn't solicit her. I didn't holler at her. I didn't talk to her. I didn't shoot my shot. I wasn't running no fucking game. None of that shit. And I wound up smashing this girl within 3 or 4 days of that stuff, by the way, for the record. Maybe it was that right. That same girl. I wound up talking to her and her boyfriend at the time. And according to him, they were engaged. And that was his girl. But according to her, no, she wasn't his girl. That was her. This is like the what do you call it? The thought loops that were going on in this time. This was the clusterfuck of what the hell is, what the hell's going on. And to be nice, I kind of wanted to get that night over with, so I offered to give both of them a ride home. They lived right up the street, and they get in my car. The guy sits here in the passenger seat, and she sits right behind me. And, you know, I threw on some music. It was a good little ride home, and I did not expect what come next. He's sitting in the seat next to me right there, and she's reaching around from the back of the seat, like reaching around, grabbing my junk. And I'm like trying to calmly, like, you know, like discreetly, like slap her fucking hand, like, bitch, what are you doing? And he's sitting right here. And listen, it gets better. He's sitting there running his mouth, talking about what he was going to do to her sexually once I got him home. You know what I'm saying? Once I dropped him off, he was going to take her up there and he was going to give her something else. You know what I mean? Guys, that's not all. Like I said, it's been a number of things. From maybe it was actually turning a woman down for sex. Not this. This is other women. These are multiple different women. Maybe it was turning a woman down for sex and watching her flip her shit. I'm serious. Like, I couldn't believe how crazy a woman could be. Really. And I didn't turn her down, like, embarrassingly. It was discreet. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know. And I didn't even turn her down. I told her to wait a while. Yeah. Or maybe it was when I took a cruise several years ago, and this was my biggest moment. And this girl chased, like, I'd say chased, but she kept coming and approaching me every fucking night. And it was like 3 or 4 nights. And late at night, I would always run across her, like, late at night, and the casino stays open late. And I'm down, you know, we're down there. I had a couple dudes we were hanging out with, and we're all, you know, having drinks and shit. And here she comes, and she was beautiful. She was young. She was in her low, mid-20s. Gorgeous girl. I'm telling you, she was one of the most beautiful girls I've ever, like, for real. I got to be honest. And she kept coming up every night wanting to talk. And it was obvious she was, like, interested and wanting to get to know. And she escalated. And I was kind of backing off because this was I was sort of in that phase of coming out of my divorce. And I was more reluctant because I'd seen a few other things that made me less trusting of women. But finally, one night, you know, I had several drinks. She came down, and it was just a good night. It worked out perfect, and we wound up going on the back deck, and, you know, everything went good. Went back to the cabin. I went back to my cabin. I was trashed drunk at that point after, because we stayed up a few hours. And the next day, we get to Grand Cayman, and we get on, you know, if you've ever been on a cruise, the boat doesn't have a dock. It has to anchor out in the water, and you got to take what they call a tender back and forth to the land. And this tender boat is 2 stories tall, and it holds like probably 100 people. Well, I went to the Grand Cayman to buy a couple Cubans. I get back on the tender boat to come back to the cruise ship, and I hadn't seen this girl that day. This was the day after we had just hooked up. And I get on the boat, and it was packed. I get on the boat, and when you board the tender boat, you board on the second floor, the top floor, and there's a bottom floor beneath it with a bunch of seats and stuff and whatnot. So basically, you board the boat, and there's a stairwell going down, and it's like a bus type setup, a double-decker bus. But anyway, I board, and it was so packed, I had to basically sit on the very front seat on the very corner, at the aisle, at the top of the stairwell. And I'd sitting on the top of the stairwell, and I look down, and what do I see? I see that girl. Tan with fucking, I saw that tattoo. And I'm like, it got my attention. My hairs went up. I was like, that can't be her. But what do I see? I see this dude sitting right next to her. This dude was twice my size, for the record. Big motherfucker. Obviously a bodybuilder. Wearing a damn gym tank top. You know what I'm talking about? This dude would have knocked my dick in the dirt. Big old redhead. You could tell he was just ready to fight somebody. You know what I mean? This guy was completely opposite of me. Note that as well. And I look down, and I see obviously I saw her back. She couldn't see me at that point, at least yet. And she's sitting in that seat facing away, and this dude sitting next to her with his arm around her. And I waited till he scratched. He was like rubbing her neck for a minute and scratched his head, and I saw the wedding band on his hand. And I was sitting there, I was like, damn it. That bitch is married. I was like, God damn. She takes her head, like at one point she picks her hand up, I guess to rearrange her, like mess with her hair or something at some point, and I saw her wedding ring. Like, I was like, God. And keep in mind, this never came up at all. Nothing. And I was like, this was my moment right there. And I finally, I was like, I locked eyes on her. I was like, I was going to make sure that she knows that I saw her, but I wasn't going to make a scene. So I'm sitting at the top of the stairs, and as the boat left the harbor to go back to the ship, it got a little bit, a little bit rough. And she stands up and she turns around, and I'm already staring. And we locked eyes, and she looks at me, and her eyes went like this fucking big. And I just shook my head. I went like this, and he didn't know anything. He never, to this day, he doesn't know shit. And she just goes, just, didn't say it, but with her lips. Another situation, met a girl on Facebook buying a dog kennel. And she was a cool chick. This was the only older chick, I guess you could say. She was just a few years older than me. And she was, a little brief story, going through a divorce, apparently, and they had been separated a year and a half, according to her. And she actually asked me on a date. And I agreed to do it. And this was in North Carolina. We went out, we went bowling, went out and had a few drinks, and got a hotel room because I lived like 40 miles from there, and I didn't want to drive home. And just went there, and it was some of the worst box I've ever had in my life, for the record. But basically, got a hotel room, did the thing, and right as I'm about to get done, her phone is just going crazy on the nightstand. And it finally, like, when it got done, rolled over, I'm laying on my back, catching my breath. Same thing with her. Her phone walks itself off the fucking nightstand. That's how much it was vibrating and how many calls it was getting. And she asked me, it was on my side of the bed. She said, hey, you grab that for me? And I reached down and I grabbed that phone. And I didn't like nosy. I just kind of was like, real quick. And I saw 96 missed calls. 96 missed calls. And I kept my cool. I handed it to her. And I looked there and said, is everything okay? Because you could tell her demeanor changed a little bit. And she goes, oh, that's just my husband. We're trying to work it out. And I was like, work it out? Oh my God. Guys, listen to me. It was seeing this side, being on this end of it, and in like not even volunteering. It wasn't like I was out there chasing married women, chasing like women in relationships. And there's other instances. As I said, I've had girls take calls in the middle, and they got some type of rush, some type of high off of talking to their man while they were riding. You know what I'm talking about? And it was hilarious to them. Gaslighting that man on the other end of that phone. This is the shit that really, truly red-pilled me. So when a woman talks about trust issues, or do I have trust issues? Bitch, I don't have trust issues. I know y'all can't be trusted. So I ain't playing that shit. I'm not taking that argument at all. And guys, listen, you can roll the dice at your own risk. But I would highly encourage you. I'm not saying go out there and see what I wish I didn't see what I see. You know what I'm talking about? Like, cause all that sugar, spice, everything nice is gone. Like, out the fucking window. It's gone. Like, I can't even look at them the same anymore. And if you ask me, can you trust women? I'm telling you guys, listen to me. My answer is absolutely not. Marriage won't stop them. A commitment, a relationship won't stop them. Being on the same cruise ship with her husband won't fucking stop them. Being out together with her man. Let him walk to the bathroom and see how quick of a time she capitalized. He walked to the bathroom. She's like, hey, give me your phone. That fucking fast. And I hadn't said a word to this girl prior to that. My first introduction to this woman, I didn't even know her name. Hey, give me your phone. She was ready to get my number and hadn't said a damn thing to me. I hadn't said a damn thing to her. And she was ready to fuck. This is how women's nature is, guys. Listen to me. He couldn't even go to the bathroom and trust his woman. You couldn't even take a cruise ship and trust your woman. Guys, listen. I don't hate them for it. I went through that phase. Do not go there, okay? Listen, you just got to understand what it is, and don't put yourself in a situation where you have to rely on trust, because that's really what it boils down to. I don't hate women at all. And these experiences are what they are. It was fun. Stories that will always be in the bank forever. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not going to be shamed. Like as if I'm in some place of hate or hurt or hatred. And this is why I believe what I believe and know what I know. Get the fuck out of here. Listen, you can roll the dice, but I'm trying to tell you, with the social media, the DMs, listen, guys, your woman is not your woman. She's never your woman. She never was your woman. And when she wants a quick hit, she will capitalize on something as quick as you taking a fucking piss. And she will, on the other hand, she will laugh. Like, women love cheating on them. When women cheat on men, they love cheating on men. They don't just cheat and, oh, I'm so sorry, oops. Fuck out of here. When a woman is already crossed that Rubicon and cheats on a man, she fucking loves it. That'll blow your fucking mind. They love it. They love going behind his back, laughing at how stupid he is. This is why I make videos for men. Guys, please know this. It's what it is. Should you trust women? Can you trust women? Listen, if you're not in a relationship with them, I guess on a small level, maybe to an extent, but be careful. No, don't give her money and like tell her to take it to the bank. No. Just understand, hedge your fucking risk. But a relationship is the biggest risk a man can take. A marriage is even worse. You cannot marry modern women, dudes. You can't do it because you can't trust them. Because she's giving a man the key to your back door when you're in the bathroom taking a piss or you're out there working overtime. Don't do it, guys. I'm telling you, don't do it. You can't trust them. And ladies, can't shame me or blame me for this. I'm not saying all do this. No. And as I said, I have other stories. I'm not going to get in the weeds on it. But I've seen enough. If ladies want to be mad, they need to be mad at the other women out here pulling this shit. And I can't sit here and write it off as if women don't know. I think all women know this is true. Whether or not they're participating in this, they all know. They've got some thotty friend who's sleeping around on their husband, and they're justifying it. Oh, he's so mean, he's so controlling. You wonder why? When a woman says a man's controlling, maybe it's because he can't trust her ass. Maybe it's because she's acting a little shady and shit, keeping her phone away from him, opening dummy Facebook accounts and stuff like that. Guys, this is exactly what it is. When a woman says a man's controlling, she's basically, listen to me, this is what you need to hear. When a woman says a man's controlling, translation, I cannot be trusted. He's controlling means I cannot be trusted. Men don't naturally want to be controlling. But when a man's instinct and his gut intuition goes off, it's what it is. Do not deny your own nature, men. Your gut's right. Do not put yourself in a situation where you can be taken to the fucking cleaners, guys. Trust me. Everything I'm saying, it's not easy to like, I don't hate women. I wish I didn't know what I did, but at the same time, I'm glad. Because it's a harsh reality, because everything you knew is gone. It never existed in the first place. It's only a wool that's been pulled over all of society's eyes, and especially over all the men. And all the women are in on it. They all know. They marry a guy that they don't fucking really want sexually. Because the guy they really want sexually, they feel ashamed to even be that way with a guy that will marry them or a guy that they want to marry. They're two diametric fucking positions in a woman's mind. Meaning she can't marry that type of dude. Even if he was a good dude. The guy breaks her back out, she feels like such a slut. He's not husband material, even if he's a good man. So she will never marry that guy. The guy that blows boxes in every direction and stretches it in new ways. You know what I'm talking about? It's what it is. You be careful. Like, if you're going through this, I'm sorry. I know it's hard. It hurts. But you need to know this world is not going to go back. You just need to know how to adapt and evolve to what it is. Do I still deal with women? Sure. And are there women that are honest about this? Yeah. That's the women I deal with. Even women that are honest about this, they know. They know what it is. And for the record, men, a lot of men can't be trusted either. And I'm not going to bash and throw men under the bus. There are a lot of good men out here. The women, to be honest, the women just don't want them sexually. That's just what it is. The women know that there's a lot of good men. They don't see them as good men because they don't want them sexually. It's just what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope this helps. My red pill moment, my awakening did not come from who hurt me. No. Get the hell out of here with that shit. It came from me being on the other end of watching who she was hurting. That's where it comes from. And I'm out, y'all. I love you.